Hi, I'm Ronnie Williams. Today's date is 1/4/2023, and I decided to do the anatomy and physiology of the retina for my first portfolio. The retina is the innermost layer of the eye. It consists of photoreceptor cells that convert light energy into nerve impulses. These electrical signals are passed via the optic nerve to the visual cortex, allowing us to visualize our surroundings. The retina is the light-sensitive tissue at the back of the eye. It plays an important role in vision by capturing and processing light, converting it into the nerve signals, and transmitting it to the brain. The anatomy and the physiology of the retina are complex and fascinating. It contains several layers of neurons, each of which has a specialized role in vision. This presentation will discuss how the retina works and its anatomy and physiology. The anatomy of the retina can be divided into four main layers: the ganglion cell layer, the internuclear layer, the outer nuclear layer, and the photoreceptor layer. However, is primarily made up of three layers of the nerve cell. These are the ganglion cells, bipolar cells, and photoreceptor cells. The ganglion cells are present closer to the body. The primary light sensing layer is the photoreceptor cell, which is made of rods and cones. The outer nuclear layer contains photoreceptors which convert light into electrical signals. Finally, the photoreceptor layer contains rods and cones responsible for color and light perception. This is when the image gets translated into neural impulses, which travel to the brain for visual perception. The physiology of the retina is complex and involves several steps. First, light enters the eye and focuses on the retina by the lens. The photoreceptor then converts the light into electrical signals passed to the inner nucleus layer. Here, the signals are processed and sent to the ganglion cell layer, where they are transmitted to the brain. In the brain, the signals are further processed, allowing us to perceive objects and colors. The retina is present at the posterior portion of the eyeball. Retina comprises 10 distinct layers, which are formed by 10 different types of nerve cells and their synapses. The inner limit membrane consists of the basement membrane contains the Muller cells. The nerve fiber layer is the axons of the ganglion cells. The ganglion cell layer is the nuclei of the ganglion cell and some amacrine cells. The inner plexiform layer is the synapse between the dendrites of the ganglion cells and axons of bipolar cells. The inner nuclear layer is the nuclei of the bipolar cells, amacrine cells, and horizontal cells. The outer plexiform layer is the synapse between the dendrites of the bipolar cells and the horizontal cells with rods and cones. The outer of the external limiting membrane separates the inner segments of photoreceptor cells from the cell nuclei. The layer of rods and cones contain inner and outer segments of rods and cones. During the photoreceptor layer, the rod is when the rods and cones. The rods are responsible for the stereotypic or twilight vision. They detect dim light and contain photopigment, which is a derivative of vitamin A. Cones is responsible for the phototopic or daylight vision. They detect bright light and are responsible for color vision. There are 3 types of cones in the human eye, which contain different types of photopigment responding to red, green, and blue light. People who are colorblind usually lack the cones, the different type of photopigments. And that's why most people that's colorblind either colorblind to red, green, or the blue light, or they can't tell the difference. The bipolar cell layer is where the horizontal cells and the amacrine cells. The horizontal cells, they receive impulses from the photoreceptor cells and transmit it to the bipolar cells. The amacrine cells, they relay information between bipolar cells or from bipolar cells to ganglion cells. The ganglion cell layer receives signals from the bipolar cells. The axons of the ganglion cell unite to form optic nerve, which transmit the signals to the thalamus for further processing by the brain. The vision cortex area of the brain processes the nerve impulse and the image is recognized. The eye does have a blind spot. I'm not sure if everyone has it, but it is the area where the optic nerve passes. It does not contain rods and cones, so images falling here cannot be perceived. So, the anatomy and the physiology of the retina are complex and fascinating. The retina consists of several layers of neurons, each of which have a specialized role in vision. Light is converted into electrical signals in the photoreceptors and is then sent to the brain, where it is further processed. This allows us to perceive objects and colors. Understanding the anatomy and physiology of the retina is essential for understanding vision. In conclusion, the retina is the layers of neurons. There are 3 layers of the retina. 3 primary layers in the retina. They are made of nerve cells or neurons. These are the photoreceptor cell layer, the ganglion cell layer, and the bipolar cell layer. The photoreceptors convert light to electrical signals. The photoreceptor cells are the primary light sensing cell in the retina. There are 2 types of photoreceptor cells, namely rods and cones. The rods are responsible for the scotopic or twilight vision, and the cones are responsible for phototopic or daylight vision. The optic nerve is paired with the cranial nerve that aids in transmitting the visual details from the retina to the brain. The nerve is composed of glial cells and retinal ganglion cell axons. This is when, in the brain, is when it's further process of the signals that the eye has captured. After the brain is fully processing of the signal, this is when vision occurs and perceive the objects and the colors. This is crucial to understand the anatomy and the physiology to understand vision. So, exactly what does the retina do? The retina plays a vital role in your vision. It is a thin tissue that lines the inner surface to the back of the eye. Your retina contains light-sensitive cell that receives information and sends it to the brain through the optic nerve, which enables you to see. The retina contains millions of cells that work together to detect light, turns it to electrical signals, and communicate with the brain to produce vision. These tiny photoreceptor cells are called the cones and the rods. Cones and rods are extremely important in vision. Together, the cones and rods provide you with the ability to tell the difference between light and dark and colors. If you have a problem with your retinal vision, you will experience these symptoms: a sudden onset of floaters, flashes of light in one or both of your eyes, a blurred vision, a gradual reduction in the side vision, or current light shadow over your vision field. And usually this is detected early on or during the routine eye exam before the onset of the symptoms. There are treatments available for a retinal tear or a detachment. You can get a laser surgery is one. The laser treatment, I think, is pretty common. Can be used to seal the retinal tears or holes to prevent further damage and retinal detachment. So there are cures to fix the problem. The main and the most important part of the retina is the macular zone, the yellow zone. It is the most important part of the retina because it ensures central vision since it contains numerous photoreceptors, the cones. So a lot of issue with the eye that people have usually come from their cones having a problem, the yellow spot. Some of my references for today is listed on this page. I read up on the neuroanatomy retina, the anatomy head and neck eye retina, and the human physiology book that we have. Once again, I'm Ronnie Williams, and this is my first portfolio discussing the anatomy and physiology of the eye retina.